I'm not very clear about it. But afterwards she told me she didn't want to go in. But that, well, I was in that state when a chap easily turns nasty. I threatened to make a row.
So she let you in?
Wow.
Right.
Who wrote this?
Wow.
And that's when it happened. I didn't even remember. It's the hellish thing. Oh my god! How stupid it all is.
Oh, Eric, how could you?
Sheila, take your mother along to the drawing room.
But I wanted to.
You heard what I said. Go on, Sid.
He goes to open the door while Sheila takes her mother out. Then it closes and he comes in.
When did you meet her again?
A fortnight afterwards?
By appointment?
Nah. I couldn't remember her name or where she lived. It's all very vague. But I happened to see her again in the Palace Bar.
More drinks?
Yes. By that time I wasn't so bad.
But you took her home again?
Yes. And this time we talked a bit. She told me something about herself, and I talked too. Told her my name and what I did.
And you made love again?
Yes. I wasn't in love with her or anything, but I liked her. She was pretty and a good sport. Well, I'm old enough to be married, aren't I? And I'm not married. I hate these fat old tarts around town. The ones I see some of your respectable friends with.
I don't want any more talk out of you.
I don't want it from either of you. Settle it afterwards. Do you arrange to see each other after that?
Yes. And the next time, or the time after that, she told me she thought she was going to have a baby. She wasn't quite sure, and then she was.
And of course, she was very worried about it.
Yeah, and so was I. I was in a hell of a state about it.
Did she suggest that you ought to marry her?
Nah, she didn't want me to marry her. Said I didn't love her and all that. In a way, she treated me as if I were a kid. But I was nearly as old as she was.
And what did you propose to do?
Well, she ended a job. I didn't feel like trying again for a while. Oh, man. And she had no money left. So I insisted on giving her enough money to keep her going, until she refused to take any more.
How much did you give her altogether?
I suppose about £50 all told.
£50? On top of drinking and going around town. Where did you get £50 from?
Eric does not reply.
That's my question too.
I got it from the office.
My office.
Yes.
You mean you stole the money?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
Eric does not reply because now Miss Burley and Sheila have come back.
Mrs. Verlin, Peel.
No one's moving. This is
Sheila?
Oh, I'll come along.
This is a
This isn't my fault.
I'm sorry, Arthur. I simply couldn't stay in there. I had to know what's happening.
Well, I can tell you what's happening. He's admitted that he was responsible for the girl's condition. And now he's telling us he supplied her with money he stole from the office.
Eric, you stole money?
Nah, not really. I intended to pay it back.
We've heard that story before. How could you have paid it back?
I've managed somehow. I've had to have some money.
I don't understand how you could have made as much as that out of the office without somebody knowing.
You know, some small accounts to collect, and I asked for some cash.
Gave the firm's receipt and then kept the money back.
Yes.
You must give me a list of those accounts. I've got to cover this up as soon as I can. You damn fool. Why didn't you come to me when you found yourself in this mess?
Because you're not the kind of father a chap could go to when he's in trouble. That's why.
Don't talk to me like that. Your trouble is you've been spoiled.
And my trouble is that I haven't much time to be able to divide the responsibility between you when I'm gone.
Eric?
Just one last question, that's all. Remember that. Never forget.
From one to the other.
Dan, I don't think you ever will. Remember what you did, Mrs. Berlin. You turned her away when she most needed help. You refused her even the had your power to grant her. Remember what you did.
Good. I'm not gonna do it.
Just used her to the end of a stupid drunken evening, as if she was an animal, a thing, not a person. No, you won't forget.
He looks at Ginny.
I know. I had to turn down Roger. I started.
You helped. The day started.
Rather savagely to Berlin.
You started it. You wanted 20. She wanted 25 shillings a week instead of 22 and sixpence. You made her pay for the heavy price for that, and now she'll make you pay a heavier price still.
Look, Inspector, I give thousands. Yes, thousands.
You're offering the money at the wrong time, Mr. Burling.
He makes move, but is consulting the session, possibly shutting up a notebook, and surveys them sardonically.
No, I don't think any of you will forget. Nor that young man, Croft, though at least he had some affection for her, made her happy for a time. Well, Eva Smith's gone. You can't do her any more harm. And you can't do her any good now, either. You can't even say, I'm sorry, Eva Smith.
That's the worst.
Just remember this. Once Eva Smith is gone, that there are millions and millions and millions of Eva Smiths
Millions.
and John Smith still left with us. With their lives, their hopes and fears, their suffering and chance of happiness. All intertwined with our lives and what we think and say and do. We don't live alone. We are members of one body. We are responsible for each other. And I tell you that a time will soon come when if men do not learn that lesson, then they will be taught it in fire and blood and anguish. Good night.
He walks away out. Staring at you, Sheila is so quiet.
Rob.
Eric is
Loud
breathing
justice.
desperately. Burling, the only active one, hears the front door slam, moves hesitatingly towards the door, stops, looks gloomily at the other three, then pours himself out a drink, which he hastily swallows.
You're the one I blame for this.
Bet I am.
Yes, and you don't realise yet all you've done. Most of this bound to come out. There'll be a public scandal.
I don't care now.
You don't seem to care about anything. But I care. I was almost certain for a knighthood in the next honours list.
Eric laughs rather hysterically.
It's his laughing hysterically. Oh, for God's sake, what is it about it now? Whether they give you a knighthood or not.
It doesn't matter to you, but apparently nothing matters to you. But it may interest you to know that until every penny of that money you stole is repaid, you work for nothing. And there's going to be no more of this drinking round the town and picking up women in the palace bar.
You should think not, Eric. I'm absolutely ashamed of you.
Don't blame you. Don't forget, I'm ashamed of you as well. Yeah, both of you.
Drop that. There's every excuse for what both your mother and I did. And it turned out unfortunately. That's all.
That's all.
Right.
Well, what do you have to say?
I don't know where to begin.
Then don't begin. Nobody wants you to.
But I've behaved badly too. I know I did. And now I'm ashamed of it. But now you're all beginning all over again to pretend that nothing much has happened.
Nothing much has happened. Haven't I already said that there'll be a public scandal? Unless we're lucky. Who here will suffer that from that more than me?
But that's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about that. The point is, you don't seem to have learned anything.
Don't I? Well, you're quite wrong there. I've learnt plenty tonight. And you don't want me to tell you what I've learnt at night. When I look back on tonight, when I think of what I was feeling when the five of us sat down to dinner at that table.
Yes, and do you remember what you said to Gerald and me after dinner when you were feeling so pleased with yourself? You told us that a man has to make his own way, looking after himself and minding his own business. And that we weren't to take any notice of these cranks who tell us that everybody